Hello, and welcome to Candidates Up Front. This is a public interest election program of Berks Community Television and the League of Women Voters of Berks County. Our May 16th primary election is coming up. Democrats and Republicans will vote for judges, school directors, and county, township, borough, and city officials. The deadline to register to vote is May 1st. To check your voting status, go to votepa.gov. That's vote.pa.gov. You can register, change your party, locate your polling place, or apply for an absentee or mail-in ballot. The deadline to register is May 1st. The deadline to apply for a mail-in ballot is May 9th. The League is interviewing those candidates who wanted to be interviewed in contested races. For each race, the candidates will get the same basic questions and the same amount of time to answer them.
Hello, I'm Renee Dietrich, a member of the League of Women Voters of Berks County. Today, we're going to talk to candidates for the mayor of the city of Reading. The mayor controls and is accountable for the executive branch of city government. Executive and law enforcement powers are vested in the mayor. The mayor is responsible for preparing a balanced budget, developing administrative policies, and hiring, with council approval, a managing director. The mayor needs to have lived in the city continuously for 1 year preceding the primary and continue to reside in the city throughout his term of office. This position is full-time, it's for 4 years, and the current salary is $92,000 a year. There are 6 Democrats filed to be on the ballot: Celine Ekval, Robert Melendez, Nelton Memon, Maria Vialis, Eddie Moran, and Maria Arias. Each candidate's views are their own and not those of the League of Women Voters or BCTV. Today, my candidate is Nelton Memon, and welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start by having you tell our viewers about yourself and why are you running for mayor?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nelton Memon, and the reason I've been living here in Reading for about 33 years. And when I came to Reading, Reading was a really nice city, very organized. I came under the administration of Mr. Mayor Amstad. I was very happy to be around the city. Every time I was outside, it was very secure, very good quality of life. And in a few years, everything started going down. So I started putting more attention to the city. So I decided to run because I've been working for the city of Reading as an inspector for 6 years. And I've been also working for a few mayors. And then I saw that they were supposed to do one thing, and never that thing happened. And being there, watching what it needs to be done, I decided I can do it, because stuff that never been done there for maybe in 5-10 years, I did in a year. So, yes. So in the meantime, it took me a little bit of time to know the people that were also in City Hall in each department, because I was working most of the time outside in the street, doing quality of life inspection, anything related to the city. So being around the city, I had the opportunity to know every quadrant of the city and also the people. So at that time, I said, I never was interested really in being mayor, but when people start seeing me as that leader that can move, have things done, they said, Nelton, I want you there, because as an inspector, you cannot do that much. And that's at the time then I decided really to do it.
Okay. Now tell us what education and experience, background, you bring to this position.
Well, like I told you before, I've been working as a city inspector for 6 years. But before that, I used to work in customer service and radio chat when I came to New York in '91, and also work for Staples, a business machine in Wyomissing. After that, I went to school, and I decided to get my education, and I have an associate degree in architecture and also in graphic design. Plus, I'm being very successful in another company when I was pretty young, and that gave me the ability to know what is a real administration.
Okay, now what personal qualities do you have that would help you be effective in this job?
Well, this is a very good question. One of the qualities that I like to follow the issue on a daily basis. Also, I'm very open to the public. I like communication within the departments. I believe if you don't have communication within the department, you're not going to go anywhere. It can be the city hall, it can be any corporation, it can go any business, even though if you have a little grocery bodega in the corner. If you have that type of skill that you can work and follow what the people need to be done, everything can be possible.
Okay. Now, if you are elected, what are your priorities? And we'll give you 2 minutes on that one.
Wow, there's many that I've been watching for so long. Like I told you before, quality of life is something very important. So the first thing that I would do is get my staff together and have a meeting with everyone, because I believe we have a lot of good people working in City Hall. They just need a better leadership and better communication and better follow on the daily basis. If we can achieve that, we can have everything done in the time that was supposed to be done. Also, the second thing is going to be address the issue of the parking authority. We people here in downtown and the whole city, they feel retaliated by parking authority. I think we have to start all that abuse to the people. We have to bring more businesses to the city. So I believe that we can do it. There's a lot of people willing to help, and I'm counting on those people. Like I told you, I've been working in City Hall for 6 years, and I've been watching all these people. I feel that I'm being like an undercover boss. So now they know me, and I know a little bit about them. Because most of the people, believe it or not, they can be better. But sometimes if the leadership that is working with them is not good, they're going to become like that person.
Okay. Now, let's be specific here. What ideas do you have to make Reading an attractive place for families, get them to move into the cities and maintain their property? Be
Yes.
specific.
Well, the first one, like we talked before, is quality of life. If we don't eliminate the high crime that we have right here, right now, nobody want to live in Reading. A lot of people tell me on the daily basis, I love Reading, but I want to move out. Actually, the other day I went to do inspection in one of the high-rise, beautiful, Ken Hort Boulevard. And I said to the guy, wow, you have a beautiful penthouse. And he told me, well, I love Reading, but I cannot live in Reading because what's going on over there. And then I said, what's going on? I know what's going on, but I want to hear from him. So he told me, listen, I don't find parking space, a lot of noise everywhere, nobody respects the stop sign, the red light. And I said, well, that's a big plus, because we need a place with a good quality of life. When you don't have quality of life, even you're not going to attract no businesses. Everyone's going to run away from there. Even people that work outside the city, when they come here, they don't want to stay here, but they don't have no choice because they're underpaid or they're not well educated.
Well, I was going to ask you what specific ideas you had for business, but you have covered part of that, so
Yes.
maybe you have more ideas for getting business in here.
Of course. Like I said before, I've been in touch with a lot of people from different regions, even overseas. They want to come to Reading and invest money. But those people, actually, when a person has money, entrepreneur, investor, the first thing that they do, you know what they do? They go on Google. What they do, they research that person, that town, that company to see if it's going to be trustable, right? Mm-hmm. So in that case, I've been watching what the people tell me. I said, Nelton, I cannot go over there with that kind of attitude, especially the administration. If I'm going to apply for a building permit, it's going to take probably 3 or 6 weeks, or sometimes 2 months. There's no need for that. I want to do the business right away. I have the money to invest, but if somebody is taking my time, I don't want to invest in the town, in that city, in that region. I'm going better to another region. And I'm asking myself why other region can be successful and Reading for 30 years is in the same swivel, like a tornado. Changing different measure and nothing happened. It's been money there, but where is the money being used? I would like to know that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now, people do depend on public transportation. So what more public transportation could be there for helping Reading residents and businesses? And how could we go about improving public transportation?
Well, right now about transportation, I think we are quite in advance because before, I remember when I came here, if you call the taxi company, I don't want to name any company, but there was probably one or two. And if elderly people or anyone want to go to the appointment, they will lose their appointment because the taxi will take probably 45 minutes to get there. Eventually, we've been very open about that situation. They had different companies. Now we have Uber, we have Lyft, and also we have, I think, the Mexican places, Spanish transportation. And people feel comfortable to call anytime and be very efficient, all these people with the transportation. Also, I believe in the transportation for the city or the county, it should be more clean. I believe we should bring more energy efficient equipment.
Thank you. Now, Reading is an older community and it has an aging infrastructure. And in the case of technology, not enough infrastructure. So how could these things be brought up to date?
Well, I would like to see that in the future, especially me being working. Everybody can see it, even the visitor. But all the infrastructure, like across the street, all this building falling apart, we got too many blighted property. When I was working with the code department, I was very interested about all these abandoned buildings, even though I have people interested to buy those buildings because they can start from the scratch. But I said, Nelton, I had a structure standing strong. So I'm gonna do everything new, planning, I'm gonna do the plumbing, electricity, everything. I'm gonna rehab this property. But when I'm gonna apply for rehab, it take me probably a year or more. So that people don't wanna work with blighted property because they're gonna waste their time and their money. So if they facilitate for anyone the process to rebuild a property, we're gonna be having a lot of investors in the region.
Okay.
And there's gonna be a lot of modern structure also.
Well, how do you address the issues of absentee landlords, too many rented properties, aging housing stock? How do you address that?
That's something else. We've been dealing a lot in core department with those absentee landlords that live out of state. And I think the best way is we need to change the process with those landlords. So we have to find them more accountable to the property. They have to be more close to the buildings. Because if we don't do that, what happens? The properties start dilapidating because they're not there. And the person that they hire to do their job, they don't care.
Okay. Is that it?
Yes.
All right. Now, most of the time, Reading is a safe place to work, to live, and to visit. However, violence related to drugs, gangs, and disagreements hurt neighborhoods and the reputation of the city. What can the city do to stop or thwart this violence?
Good question. First of all, there's a lot of teenagers on the street. When they go to school, you can see them hanging out in the corners. Sometimes you cannot spot them if they're a gang member or a student because they don't have uniform.
Right.
Police sometimes go by, they don't do anything. I believe we need more strong police to work with that issue. Also, we call with the school district because I believe that can be accomplished. If you find a group of people smoking marijuana in the alleyway and they're supposed to be at school and the police spot them, I think they had the duty to ask them, what are you doing over there? Because this is not a place to be hanging out. And there's a lot of neighborhood here that people is watching all the time. But sometimes they say, we call the police and the police don't do anything. So we need to do more meeting in the community. We have to bring the community working with the police. If we do that more often, to say the problem, we have to do it on the weekly basis until it become better. And then we can do it monthly. And then we can do it bi-monthly. And I believe that will happen and we can do it. And I believe I can achieve that with good force of police and better communication within the neighborhood.
Thank you. Now let's talk about unions. The city has 3 unions. How do you view the relationship between the mayor and the unions? And what would your philosophy be on collective bargaining with unions?
Well, this is a good question because I'm going through a process right now with the union.
Okay.
And I believe in union because union protect the employee, but also I see something that I don't like about union in the workplace environment. For example, member of the union working in the company is like a gate to play, you know? Because if you are a supervisor and you belong to the union and you're gonna represent one of the worker, this person can feel like reprimanded. So they don't want to defend you the way it's supposed to be if that person were an outsider. That's my only complaint that I have with the union. But I'm pro-union because they can allocate you in different places if you lose your job. And also it's like having a lawyer next to you.
Now, what do you think the most pressing issues are that are going to face the city in the next 4 years? What are the most pressing ones?
Very important. The city right now has a budget of close to 100.7 million. If we keep spending money, an issue that doesn't generate earning to our administration, to our city, and we're going to increase taxes, we don't going to get anywhere. We need to increase income. How we do that? Bringing new businesses. If we don't bring no businesses, so we don't going to succeed. So I believe that we can do better.
Okay. Now, it costs money to run for office.
Of course.
So how are you going to be financing your campaign?
Finally, I have good friends that are supporting me very good. And I always say something. I believe that you just need to have a good plan to do a good government and good people working for you. Because sometimes money not always win a campaign.
Do you have money from like unions or lobbyists?
Business people, yeah.
Business people?
Business, yeah.
And individuals?
Yeah, an individual and family.
Okay. And family. Now, I want to remind our viewers that the League Voters Guide is on vote411.org. You can look up information on all the candidates. The people who are running for township and borough offices are putting information on Vote 411. And the candidates who are running for school boards in the 18 school districts in Berks County are putting their information on 411. So be prepared. Look up 411.org for candidates. Now I'm going to ask you to give your closing statement, please. Tell the viewers why they should vote for you.
Thank you. For all those people that don't know me, I just want to tell you that I really would like to change this town and make this town a great city because I believe we have a lot of good people in this city and also outside this city that they want to come to live here and make this city every day greater and greater. Like every day, I would like to see a beautiful downtown here that everybody can go to the cafe shop, bookstore, art center, state house, ice cream parlor, everything. I would like to see every night people walking safe. And I know we can do that because there are a lot of people waiting for us to do a good government and they're gonna come and do their part. They're gonna bring their money and they're gonna invest that money. So if you elect me, I'm gonna make sure that happens because I've been dreaming for that for almost 33 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you
for having me.
Thank you for sharing your views with us. Viewers, please remember that there are 5 additional candidates for mayor on the Democratic ballot. Celine Evcall, Robert Menendez. Nelton was our guest today. Maria Vialis, Eddie Moran, Maria Arias. You will vote for one of these 6. So thank you for watching Candidates Up Front, and goodbye.
You will find the Candidates Upfront interviews on BCTV and on its website and its YouTube page. And for more information on candidates, you can go to the League's online voters guide, vote411.org. Or you can contact Berks County Election Services, elections@countyofberks.com. Their phone number is 610-478-6490. And thank you for watching Candidates Up Front.